There's only but a few at the bottom we can follow. Who possesses the will to win? Stay 10 toes down, even when the stream begins to thin. What does that actually look like? Hush money. Help us save humanity. Money over negative entities, you dig? Now come in and join in on this conversation we're about to have with Devon Burch here in this shared space of respect and gratitude. Thanks for coming to voice your honest opinions because they do matter. So does growth with the ability to agree to disagree. Hush Money welcomes you.
How you doing, sir?
I'm all right, man. How about yourself, man?
I'm doing well. I'm doing
Yeah.
well.
Okay, that's what's up, man. Well, you probably wondered how I ran across you and how my team reached out to to bring you onto the show. Um, they was watching videos and we seen you on the drums and you was doing your thing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, let's find out a little bit about him. So I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I do this with all my guests. I go especially if I don't really know you, right? I go and I find out information, right? And I ran across some intriguing information. And I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, though, first. You know what I mean? Before I start, dabbling into what I ran across about you, and then we can go from there. Yeah. So I'll give the floor to you.
Okay. So, my name, my legal name, I usually don't put it out there, but in where I'm at in life, people need to know what they need to know.
All right.
So my legal name is Devon Burch. Native from right here, in Hickory, North Carolina. Graduated Hickory High School.
All right.
HKY till I die.
HK.
Sure. So gotta represent home team. I'm big on that.
All right.
Speaking about that, the main thing I love for people to know about me is I care and I watch.
Okay.
And I try to be active if I can.
All right. Explain active though before you keep going on.
A lot of times we can see stuff.
All right.
And we leave it there. But I feel like if you, as any human being does, we have a conscience.
True indeed.
We might name it other different things based off what we believe.
Right.
But we don't deny that it's there. We see something, it makes us feel a type of way. Especially a lot of times when it's something negative.
True.
So I see, in the community here, I see things as far as with the culture a lot of times, some negative things, and I'm not one of them people to sugarcoat stuff.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
You ain't supposed to. You're a man.
But I do believe in how you address things matters.
That's true too.
And people sometimes don't go about it the best way.
I'm one of them.
I'm
listening.
But that's also what makes us so unique. No two people were truly made the same, even twins.
Okay.
They have different. I had a conversation last night with my pastor.
Okay.
He has identical twin boys, and he was saying, he was like, one of them came up to him about something. I won't get deep into it. It wasn't that negative or bad.
Yeah, no doubt.
But he was like, in that moment, he realized, like, okay, that y'all are different. Like, you might look exactly the same, but you really are different human
personalities.
You're individuals.
Right, that's exactly right.
And so I think when we realize that and we acknowledge that and accept that, that's the biggest issue with our culture is a lot of times we can't accept truth.
Right. Before you go on, right, because you brought up culture and the things that you witnessed, right?
Yes, sir.
I got several questions. I got cards and I had wrote out some information for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I'm going to probably have to get up to get them. But anyway, right now, just because of your conversation that you're giving, and I'm liking that you you can articulate your sentences and words.
I try.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing good, though. You're doing good, man. I got to give it to you, though, for real. You're doing good.
Yes,
so, speaking of community, one thing I want to ask you, though, why do we boast in negativity? In your opinion. I
stopped using the word or the phrase "we're wired like that." I'll use what a lot of people have probably seen if they got social media. One of the stories that normally comes across in some fashion that deals with race.
I'm listening.
Children are taught. So when it comes to our communities, we have way too many children being taught negativity.
So who's teaching our children negativity?
We are.
Yeah.
The truth, we are.
Okay.
Whatever we accept and whatever we allow, we are teaching that because our children are watching us. They can watch TV and watch all these other different things. Mm-hmm. But I've seen, because I've been in the community, and I'm not going to mention any particular names, but I've talked with different single mothers. And I am also in ministry as well. Mm-hmm. Hearing about some of the different things that, they witnessed their child witness. Mm-hmm. Or even sometimes I've had talks with different females. They're like, my son did this or my daughter did this. And I said, you have to be careful because they're watching what you do. Mm. They're watching your friends that you bring over to the house. This is true. They're watching the men and or the women. Right. That you bring in and out of your life. Right. And they're looking at what you allow. Mm. They're looking at what you like. And even if there's certain things you don't necessarily condone, if your friends, your circle, you have people in your circle that condone negative or negativity, and they don't ever see you try to correct them, right? Then now they're thinking subconsciously, oh, if mommy likes how Aunt such and such comes over and is talking about this, and they're just giggling and having fun, and they playing cards, and they doing, you know what I'm saying? Then I want to be like the person I see every day. I'm trying to learn subconsciously who I am and developing based off what I see you do. So we first have to address ourselves, right? Especially me being a parent. Yeah, I address myself because one thing I've stopped doing, not only because of the ministry ordeal, but because my mother and father didn't cuss at me. So I adapted to something because I wasn't, first off, mature enough to understand what I'm putting into my children.
You did not to cut you off, but you just said something that's so profound and deep, right? Is that your parents didn't cuss you, right? But that's not like taught or a learned behavior to have parents to do that to their kids in our culture. Why do you think our parents really taught us or treat us as kids like we're adults?
I think that we have to look at the country. We have to take that time to have those uncomfortable. My parents, they were older, so they might have telling you about what they did back in the day. Right, no doubt. They were Ridgeview. You feel me? Yeah. So they, they literally saw a lot of things, right? And they wanted better. I think one of the issues is when it comes to those talks, because so much negativity, as you asked the question earlier, has been given to our communities. We have so many people because there are not enough people building us up.
That's true.
Just if I talk about the black community, let's talk about the black community. Right. We don't have enough people building us up.
That's true.
When I was, I think I was still in high school, and I asked my mother because she was the pastor. All right. On PK. Okay. PK. So I asked my mother. I was just like, you deal with all of these people, because she's a street minister as well. Okay. I said, you deal with all of these people. And I'm young, and I'm like, is there really anything wrong with them? Because when they come up to hear you preach and you sing, I don't see nothing wrong with them. My mom said, well, I go where others won't. We have people dying in our communities, and we don't go see about them. And I'm big on this. I got plenty of minister, pastor friends, and I get on them a lot. And I was saying, like, what have you done in the community this month?
And that's deep.
What did you do? You got 7 churches in the Ridgeview community alone. Black churches. Right. Some of them are either side by side or front to back. And beside a funeral home. You have a whole community of people across or beside each one of these different churches. And they're dying. Why are they dying? Let's take the religion part out of it. You're talking about figureheads in the community. And I won't say that all of them don't come out of their comfort zone, aka their office. But you don't have enough of them.
Yeah.
And they're not coming out. The biggest issue is they're not coming out together.
Right.
You got churches that, especially if you're from Hickory or Catawba County, there are certain churches that you just know.
Yeah.
They don't really deal with each other. Well, they deal with each other, but it's always a battle to see who church is the best. And I'm like, these are neighbors.
Right.
These are neighbors.
Right.
Same community. Everything.
So you will also look at that as being a divide.
Yes.
In the community. I mean, it's easy to see though, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something that I experienced one time. I actually had took on a job as a I can't even remember what the position was, but what I would do was go out and find a contractor gigs, right?
Yep.
And
talking my language.
Yeah. So I had a contractor actually that had a gig with me in a church, and this church done something that I really felt embarrassed about for us, you know what I mean? And I ain't talking about the contractor, I'm talking about for us as a people, right? Right. And what they done was they had their board members set up a meeting with the contractor in front of everybody. So it was almost like you're going to judge if you want us to do the work or if you want somebody else to come in, right? Right. So, he taking various amounts of questioning, right? Where you did this from? How can you do this? We'll let you know type all the way down to the end, you know what I mean? How, ways of trying to discourage, the company from doing business, right? Right. So when the questioning was over with, I could not be me, right?
I feel you.
How many other contractors do y'all done hired of another race have y'all done this to? And guess what was said? None. And I said, that's why you don't see people like me coming to church. For real. I stopped going to church a long time ago though because heathens. You know what I mean? You can't be telling me on a Sunday I'm going to hell because I don't think like you, I don't dress like you, and I'm going to sleep in the back because I'm bored. I'm not, you know what I mean? So
let's talk.
But then when I see you outside, you know what I mean? When I see you outside, you know what I mean? On Monday, really at the church, you're drinking, you got blunts, you're cussing, right. You exactly what you said. And so it was the hypocritical part of it, and I couldn't partake anymore in it. You know what I mean?
Put the pedal to the metal, let's roll. Keep an O in that draw in the console. So when I hit the highway, I got my own highway. No need to make a pit stop, straight to the club. Put the pedal to the metal, let's roll. Keep an O in that draw in the console. When I hit the highway, I got my own highway. No need to make a pit stop, straight to the club.
You brung up family, right?
Yes, sir.
So, I mean, if we can be, really honest,
yeah.
All right. Yeah. During my research about you, I felt like you got a really intriguing story, for real, and I really feel like it's deeper than what the world probably even know about you.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can't, if you want to talk about this, but I gotta pose this question, all right? You talk about your parents. Through my research, though, you was adopted.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just, for the world, I don't know if you knew off gate, if you was old enough to understand, but when you did finally understand about it, or your certain situation, because I ain't gonna lie, I have my oldest daughter was took from me. I was a single parent for 7 years with her. Mm-hmm. I got her when she was like 2.5, 3 years old. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was wow. You get what I'm saying?
I feel you. Yeah.
No,
I feel you.
I wasn't supposed to be a parent.
I'm a PK. I just
okay.
No
doubt. Yeah. But I still done what I was supposed to do. I didn't give her away.
Right.
She had to actually took from me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as an adult, I understand now why it had to happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
But as a kid, I want you to really, if you can, tell us what that done to you? What that made you feel like once you realized what was happening?
So there were probably 3 steps.
Okay.
Or 3 different places.
All right.
Or moments within my life where the insight, the way that I looked at the scenario, the situation, not only helped to groom and change me, and that's why I have such a heart as a father, and even as a husband, but so much more as a father.
Okay.
The younger years, I was young. I still didn't really fully understand,
right?
Because I was adopted by my great aunt and uncle.
Okay.
Which my great uncle, you would never hear me tell you that's my great uncle. If we were talking something and they walked up or you came over or something and they were there, I'd be like, man, this is my mother, my father.
No doubt. Yeah, just like
notice the words that I said.
Right. No doubt.
My mother,
right,
and my father. Those titles for me. I don't want to be just be a dad.
No
dad,
doubt.
you can have some decent experiences.
That's right. That's
or whatever. You can have a child.
Yeah.
And and that's one of the other things about the culture. Stop calling these men sperm donors.
That's right.
Because we're gonna call deadbeat women egg donors. We don't do that.
Before you keep going on,
go ahead.
I'm gonna tell you something. This is my word. I'm a witness to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really even see fathers downplaying the mothers. Period. Unless the mother done told the kid something stupid and he reacts to it.
Yeah.
But you don't really see men. I don't care if you get them. If you're raising your kid by yourself, it's something about men that we don't do that.
We don't. If you truly look through, look through the communities, a lot of these men. Now, if there's an argument, I don't know nobody take this out of context.
That's right. Yeah.
If there's an argument between that man and that woman who have laid down and had that child, 9 times out of 10, those conversations and arguments where things might get said are normally behind closed doors.
Right. Right.
They don't go on social media.
No.
Trying to berate their children's mothers.
Right.
I and both my biological children.
Okay.
I had the best relationships with their mothers.
Well, that's great.
Now it's a lot better.
No doubt.
It's a lot better. But there was a lot that I had to endure. But I would never. And I've seen people send me stuff, whether it was text messages, screenshots, whatever.
Right.
Your buddy mama said this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm not going to respond to that.
Right. Right.
You see me with my kids.
Right. That's right. That's right.
I don't have to respond to that.
My actions speak louder than mine.
And the people in her comments
don't
know anything about me.
And them be the main ones cheerleading it on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
No doubt.
No doubt. But
but I go back to my particular childhood.
Right. No doubt.
The first stage.
Yes.
The first stage was I didn't really understand.
Right.
Fully, because it was crazy. I felt still, even in the younger age, I had the benefit of knowing of them.
Right.
They were never necessarily kept from me.
Okay.
And you see that in Tyler Perry movies and some of the other. I'm just saying Tyler Perry movie because we all watch it.
Yeah.
But
it's true.
But because it's real life.
Yeah, no
that sometimes females, because yes, you have to make a decision as a parent.
Right.
But a lot of times, especially within our culture, sometimes we just don't make the right decisions. We'll portray or we'll take past traumas, experiences, or whatever, and now we sit here putting it on this man. I think you're going to do this. I think you're going to do that. And so, for a lot of women, they retreat. I feel for men, if we could, if society would allow us, we would retreat too. Let's be honest about it.
It's true.
We would retreat too.
It's true.
But it has become, especially with the movies, it's become definitely a stereotype. Because everybody watches Tyler Perry.
Right. Right.
And again, there's no shot to Tyler Perry at all. I'm glad that these things come up because it should make us reflect as a body, as a community. As a community. Some people just go for the entertainment. They don't understand the message fully.
At all. That's right.
But the way I pertain that to my life, I was still grateful that I remember one thing about my biological father. He never missed a birthday.
Oh, that's great.
If that was the only time I saw that,
but still, if that's something that's integrated positive, at least it's gave you something,
right?
You know. Okay, keep going.
Now, unless he was incarcerated,
yeah.
Even then, he would use family members to communicate with me.
That's great.
He would tell like, if you can do that, you know, when I get out, I do whatever.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He never missed a birthday.
No doubt.
If we looked, if my story was a movie, he would be the one everyone praised, and my mother would be normally like considered the deadbeat. Right. For a while, me and my mother, because both of them were always in and out, incarcerated, drugs, or they sold it, they did it, they did whatever. You know, I give my mom, my brother's mother, and if you're in H.K.Y. or the surrounding counties, my mother is famous.
Your mom is
Tanya
famous.
B.
Yeah.
Queen B.
Yeah. But you know what though? Not to cut you off.
Go ahead.
I didn't know that until I did my research. I was like, I didn't even put that together. That you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't put it together. That she had a son, or had kids. Period. But that's right. Yeah. That's right. You're exactly right. But I mean, you know, like I said, for you to still have even fond memories, though, helps you as a kid because there's a lot of kids out here that don't have even those smidges of.
Let me correct you. Some of it wasn't necessarily fond memories. Right. It was still trauma.
Oh, of course. No. We're not wiping out trauma.
Right.
But we're gonna stick with what you just said, though.
Right.
That you still got something because some people don't got. You let me go ahead and break this down real quick. This is what I've been thinking about the therapy section for, right? Yeah. Because there's a lot of people out here that deals with this, that's gonna watch and can, you know how you just said, Tyler Perry movies, getting the full concept, the full meaning. You know what I mean? What I'm doing now is being like, you know how the acronym Hush Money for what it means. Yes, is what I'm doing for your whole story, right? I got you. Right. Both your parents on drugs. It wasn't there. You got adopted, right? You should have a lot of trauma. You know what I mean? You could have went anyway. You know what I mean? And it would be justified. We don't look at it like that because trauma is real. You know what I mean? It is. And it's what is it? PTSD. It's serious. It's real. Yeah. And it's amazing that you landed in the bosom of parents that nurtured you to not be, because you could have, I'm going to tell you something else. The statistic. You're exactly right. Right. One of my biggest messages that I give to people a lot of times when they talk about where they're at and where they want to get to, where they're going, I tell them, I say, I should be the biggest statistic athlete just because of my parents. For real. And addiction. Addiction is real. Yeah. And I mean, not to put you out there. If it was any advice, I wouldn't even drink if I was you. Because addiction in that background. Yeah. Anything can grab you. I don't know if you smoke cigarette. It can grab you. I can't say. One of the best things that even when I was younger, I kind of hate that I had asthma, but I think it was also because I no longer have asthma. Oh, okay. I'm struggling because I was singing real hard Sunday. That's what's up. And so I'm still trying to recover. So that's why my voice sounds like it is, but not from cigarettes, not like that. No doubt. I think it was one of the best blessings in disguise. Okay. That a lot of times we take things and we just think it's just a negative thing. Right. Every opportunity, everything you go through is an opportunity to grow. Yes. To find a way out, to find the light in that situation. So having asthma, I couldn't smoke. No doubt. Well, that's no and then I would see a lot of friends of mine. And I'm a money guy. You know what I mean? I like that. And I'd be like, you spending so much money on weed all the time, and you ain't got no car. Ooh. You can't afford what you need as essentials. And I had a lot of musician friends like that. Right. And I told them, I said, you always want to borrow my stuff. You always got to borrow something from the church. You got to borrow this from this person, that person, whatever. Well, you ain't got your own. Bro, you know, it's just hard. I said, nah, bro, we just got done with the church service. Because you got to ride with me. I just took you to the corner convenience store for cash our checks. And now you got me taking you to some dude house. Yeah. And you really taking half that check you just got. Yeah, wasting it.
and you coming out with a 8 bottles. I'm like, the only reason I even know about drugs ain't even got to do with my parents.
Right.
It's because I had a lot of musician friends.
Right.
That was like what they did, and I'm just like,
But you know what?
No, that's crazy. Because on the way to church today, I had to buy you a breakfast, which I ain't done.
Well, no, but you know what, man?
But
Something
like,
I've learned though.
You spend a lot of money doing that. I can't do that.
And a lot of us can't. I do too. But what I've learned is a lot of musicians do even heavy hard drugs.
I think anyone that is
dealing with something
creative.
Okay, that's a deep.
Because I know plenty of painters.
Yep.
That they'll get high. They'll do shrooms. They'll do they'll just get high. Whatever. And a lot of their best work in their art is done when they are influenced.
Bro, I passed my college courses smoking weed. I couldn't focus sober.
You don't remember the movie? What was it? How High?
Yeah.
Remember they smoked? They smoked the president.
Yeah, they so did.
And
no, what the president was their friend. A friend that kept coming to talking to him. Yeah.
They were in the
the lab.
The bar.
The lab.
They Nah, not that one. They were in the it was the ballroom because remember it was that big event, whatever.
When they made everybody
smoke. And that's when the president, the old president, came out, because they smoked his body.
Sure did. Yeah.
So he came in and it's like, and he told me like, nah, that's a bomb. That ain't what y'all call it. That's a bomb. That's what that is. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's just like, dang, we never knew that. We've always been going back to it. We've always been taught certain things,
right?
And of course, we know with history in general, the victors of wars, we're learning their victories, their history, because they won. Yeah, so they can tell you whatever they want to. Yeah, exactly. And it's not that it's not the truth. A lot of times it just ain't the whole truth.
That's exactly right.
So again, going back to, I gotta say, when you know better, you do better.
That's right. That's right. That's true.
Sometimes we gotta take time and examine ourselves. Yeah. Even when something comes up.
That's true.
And we learn it's different. And that's what I did. Right. When I learned more about my parents as the years went. Right. Again, my parents that were raising me, my great aunt and uncle, who've had me since I was 2 days old.
So that's your mom and your dad?
They would never keep my dad from coming to see me. Okay. No drugs, no kind of stuff. He done stole guns, he was all kind of stuff. No doubt. To a point where at one point I resented him. Because I'm like, I learned at a young age to be thankful for my parents. So the man and the woman, the mother and the father that were raising me.
That's right.
And so one time he had stolen some guns from my dad. And it enraged me. And I told him whenever he finally came back, because we told him, hey man, come, we let him stay there for a little bit. Come get your stuff. You just I want to spend time with you and everything, play a video game that you bought me last year for my birthday. Like, finally getting there to spend time. It's like, not if you about to do that.
That's right.
That man stepped up where you fell.
Yeah, that's right.
And again, I'm telling you, it's a portion of my life. Right. The first portion was I at least get to know who they were.
No doubt, yeah.
The second part was
that's what I was going to ask you.
They made a call like, okay, well, we're going to let your mother and your father, because actually both of them were together by that time.
Okay.
And so they both were staying there. They both had to go. And I told him, I looked at him, I said, bro, I hate you. I can't believe you would do that.
Can I ask you something?
I never thought you would do that. I knew you had an issue, but I didn't think you were that kind of person.
So before you continue on, did you just feel that emotional energy change in you when you even talked about that part?
Yeah, because it's real. Because it's real.
Okay, this is what I'm going to talk about right here. This is why I'm spiritual.
Yeah.
And this is why when situations like this, and it's for the world to see, is that's exactly how energy works. And if you stay in that energy is where it goes wrong. Right. But this is what I was going to ask you though, not to talk about that, I ain't trying to keep that part going. But whenever you felt that energy, not now, then did you have to pay for that in some kind of fashion? It might not have came. You get what I'm saying?
I learned because again, like I said, my mother, that raised me.
Right.
I always try to differentiate.
Right. Well, she's a good woman though. You know, and we all know her. You know what I mean? So go ahead.
Even if she heard me say it. And this is where I say it's so important as parents that we pay attention to certain things. She heard me say it. Okay. Now she waited till they left the house. Yeah. And my dad waited till they left the house. He didn't put my father left till no doubt. He didn't put his hands on my dad. Right. He just told him, I need you to grab your stuff and I need you to go. He was one of them where he ain't have to cuss or he ain't do that. Yeah. You went about
good man.
You went about challenge that man.
Yeah, no doubt. Good man.
You was gonna respect him.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I get so much respect from, even when I have to be firm about someone saying, hey, I need to tell you how this is. Because there's a couple ways it can go. I know me. Yeah. So there's a couple ways it can go. But I'm going to still try to respect you, even if you disrespected me. Even in that moment, as I'm saying this, he was showing forgiveness. Right. Okay, because he still has some other guns they didn't know.
But still, though, that's a lesson, though.
It is.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
So they both were able to show in that moment forgiveness. All right. Even though they were hurt. Yeah. By how they opened up their house to thee. Believing them. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah, for sure. That it was going to benefit or help me to try to still have some other relationship. My mother waited till they left the house. Right. Or at least got outside of the house. Closed the door. And you know, I wasn't much of a crier. Right. At least back then.
Yeah, no doubt.
Today, you know.
Yeah. We all
we on a journey.
Yeah.
It's been a journey.
Exactly.
But she came into my room and she said, I know you're hurt and I know you're angry. But this is where you practice forgiveness. And I wasn't trying to hear it.
Yeah, we're young, we kids. We don't even know what that really means at the time.
I think around that time I was about maybe 14, you know, right, or something like that. And I'm just like, nah, man, because now I'm sitting here counting up, you know, all the wrongs over the years. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like, everything I let slide, everything I was ignorant to. Right. You know, I'm thinking about that. And again, you stay in that moment, it gets worse. I'm letting it build up. And she held me there. Something about that I hate that my father passed. Because I have these moments. This is where I ain't going to cry, but
no doubt. But I understand, though. Yeah. No doubt.
Is something about when he would come in the room. Though he's like this, you know, my dad, you know, my father like about 6 foot, right, 5'10", 6 foot, somewhere around there. You know, he was a decent built guy too, you know. I sure was gonna challenge him, but he came and he sat on the other side of me. All right, and he just looked at me. He had to say, "You okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be all right." I wasn't trying to hear nothing my mama said.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
But hearing my father speak to me, it's totally different. It's totally different. It is. My dad hurt me, but my father spoke to me.
So can I?
Go ahead. I know you felt what. I know you felt.
Bro, I got chills.
You felt it. Yeah.
Because I'm an advocate for men.
Yes, sir.
I keep trying to tell women, and I'm gonna keep saying it. And I can't help this, but I got to. Stop thinking that we are not important.
Right.
He just proved it to you again.
Yeah.
The importance of having a strong man in the house. And I ain't just saying anybody.
Right. It ain't even got to be who a female is dating or pursuing.
It doesn't.
It can be the uncle. Spend time with the uncle.
That somebody.
Let him spend time with the uncle.
That's right. But it's got to be a man, though.
Yeah.
Man, listen, man. It's so bad. And we're going to go back, you know, to finish off. Man, I'm so glad that you're willing to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
I'm feeling your whole story.
I know that it can help somebody.
And it can. Believe it or not, it's helping me. You know what I mean? My dad died when I was 6 months. I never got to even see him. And everybody else that I looked at like that really was in the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
My granddaddy was somebody I looked up to like that. He was 10 foot to me. You know what I mean? A giant.
Yeah.
You feel me? And
you know, I'm sure
everybody
everybody
respected him though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm saying in a figurative form, he was God to me. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He made sure that we all was good. You know?
Right.
And it was like it took as an adult for me to find out I really was my granddad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he never ever not act like he was my granddaddy.
Exactly.
So I know what you're saying when you say what you're saying. That's the importance of having a man. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna let you continue to go ahead and just, I just want to just throw that out there. I'm feeling it because I know what you're saying and how important it is for us to be us. You know what I mean? Stop. Oh, 1 minute before you go. I don't know if you've really been seeing this though.
Put the pedal to the metal, let's roll. Keep an eye on that draw in the console. For when I hit the highway, I got my own highway. No need to make a pit stop, straight to the club. Put the pedal to the metal, let's roll. Keep an eye on that draw in the console. For when I hit the highway, I got my own highway. No need to make a pit stop, straight to the club.
But there is an agenda for us to switch roles with women, right? And I ain't talking about having to put on no dresses, but when a woman say something, you supposed to.
Can I speak freely?
Yeah, please.
I'm about to go Bible. Is that all right?
Is that all right? Do you? I want you to.
So, and because I personally have not read the Quran. It's on my agenda of things to do to get better understanding. Not to go and try to tell a Muslim this ain't right, that ain't right. I always want to understand what people think, their process,
right?
Because we all have different experiences. The reason I believe in Christianity and Jesus Christ is because of my experiences and my walk.
That's right, no doubt.
But I can't put that on somebody else because they not where I'm at.
Right. I always say somebody needed a cup of milk and it worked for them. It worked for them. Right. So, there you go. Yeah.
Right. So I think one of it started being a big thing when you got a lot more of the whole acceptance crowd.
Ooh.
And that had to do with the LGBT.
Yes, it started right. Yes. Yes.
And for anybody that knows me, I do have friends that I talk with, socialize with, and I do call them friends. And I call myself a friend because I don't care about their sexual preference.
Boom.
First off, I do believe keep that behind doors.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't need you to express. If you're out with your significant other and they're
different,
and you hold their hands kissing, I'm not bothered by that.
Right.
I'm not bothered by that. If you're doing even with my wife and we're out, especially because a lot of times we do have our son.
Right.
So I try not to. Sometimes I be wanting to be in the mood. You know, like my wife looking good. You know,
yeah, for sure.
But the biggest thing about that, two things. One is pride. Everything's centered around pride. Not even acceptance, pride.
That's right.
A lot of people, and I even have these conversations with those friends that either are part of LGBT or support them. Right. And I say, I think the reason most people have an issue is it's like you're blatantly being disrespectful to others' beliefs and telling people that because they don't support openly your beliefs, their beliefs are bad or wrong.
Right.
We're not getting to a place where we just respect each other as human beings.
Right.
That would eliminate so much stuff, but we do have that divide. But I want to say two things. I want to touch on this too. Okay. When the court started doing the whole changeover about the different rights and things and stuff like that, I feel that was a big divide because regardless of what bathroom you want to go to, we're all still human beings.
Period.
And I do feel that some of the different legislations, acts that have been passed have been for a group of people that, and we're already in a place of delusion.
Oh yes,
we say women are delusional, but we're in a place of delusion. Government, a lot of different beliefs, you know, things and stuff of that nature, gender roles. We're in a place of disbelief. But the reason I keep going back to like the Bible, it makes it clear that God, and I'll say this for those that don't believe in Jesus or don't believe in God, we can't ignore that there is we kind of touched on this before. No doubt. There is a higher entity. We didn't make ourselves. Something had to have the knowledge and the power to create us.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
You know that you can take pure water, right? Nothing in it. And you can set it in a glass jar, sealed. And in a certain amount of time, bacteria grow in there.
Right.
you did. I just wanted this to throw that out there because you said that something had to create us,
Right.
right? If I didn't go in there and form this bacteria formed from pureness. You don't think that? I just wanted to just throw that out.
No, because
I just wanted to just throw that out there. But go ahead. No, I didn't want to try to start a debate on it, but I just wanted to just give you another concept.
So one thing that I look at,
yes,
when a question like that comes
no
to
doubt,
me, because you know I'm firm in my beliefs.
No,
I just don't put them
yeah.
on other people.
Exactly.
I just say, hey, here's another way of thinking.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's
You
what I
feel
should
me?
say.
That's
I
the
should say. I'm
difference.
sorry. I didn't.
So,
Right. So
because I'm a slight bit of a science head,
yeah, no doubt.
I was glad that you gave that.
Yeah.
Because just like we have bacteria in our mouth,
Yes.
good bacteria.
Good. Yeah, we need it. Mm-hmm.
We have, if I had a cold,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't just that I sung real hard
No doubt.
last Sunday,
Right.
that's bacteria as well.
So this.
Even when we sneeze,
Mm-hmm.
that's our body. I don't know if you ever watched Osmosis Jones.
No.
The cartoon, the blue.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so Osmosis Jones was this particular. He was technically a good bacteria.
Right. Mm-hmm.
He would go throughout the body. I forgot the guys whose bodies he was in, but he would go all throughout his body, always fighting crime, pretty much.
Yep.
Osmosis Jones. They used Chris Rock.
Okay. Yeah, I
to
still
do the voice.
Yeah,
I want you to go watch it.
Okay, but
I want you to go watch it
because I
you
studied
got
the
to
body
see.
though. I like that you say that.
Yeah. So
that's like white blood cells. That's what they do. Okay, but go
so
ahead.
he would go throughout the body. He's pretty much like I think of like Beverly Hill or was it Beverly Hill Cop?
Okay.
With
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
That's kind of what it put me in the mind of
right.
Chris Rock's voice.
Okay, all right.
So the way his goatee, everything about him just screamed black.
No doubt.
Let's be honest.
Okay.
It screamed black.
All right.
But everywhere he went in the body, his job was to keep the host alive. To go in each part of the body, and there were different things. Mm-hmm. And it was so crazy because I want to go back and watch a lot of those because there was so much information about our bodies.
Since you said it.
Even in it.
Yeah.
Even in it. Of different cells.
Right.
Of why we sneeze. Mm. And I remember, the reason I said it because it made me think of that. And I remember that stuck with me. We sneeze because there are things in our bodies that's our body's mechanism of getting it out.
Getting it out, yeah. Exactly.
That's literally our body's mechanism of getting it out.
We got the most advanced. They can't even make a robot more advanced than our body is.
Right.
It's still stuff about our body they can't figure out. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But so go ahead. I'm sorry. I just wanted to throw that out there because I liked all of that.
You could. Yeah. But I think more what I was getting at is I think we're more on like
you was like on the energy
the belief side,
like the belief
when it comes
there
to the
is
water
something higher. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So we have to think water comes. So we know about evaporation, the different forms of water of liquid. You have liquid, you have solid, and you have gas.
That's right.
Those are the elements. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No,
those are the elements.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So that's something that has been proven.
Yes.
You can take dirty water, put it through either a filter or purifier, or like most people do, like you see in
Wilderness movies,
Nutty Professor and all of things.
Oh, okay.
They've got these test tubes, these other beacons that are lit up.
Yes.
And there's a cap and a tube going through it, and the vapors, because you're like I said, I'm a little bit of a science head. I like those vapors transform into a gas, but that line is leading to another one, and they come out in the form of liquid. So again, going back to saying, you can take some water and put it in a glass, put it in a bottle, twist the top, and after time, there's bacteria there. Right. The bacteria has always been there. Now, how it moves, forms, and shapes. Think about, I don't know if you like mushrooms with any of your food. Yeah. I love mushrooms. Yeah. I was talking to you just mushrooms and onions. I cook too. Okay. Everybody in the family, if you're Burch, you cook. And you cook good. Except for Tierra. Anyways, but that's all the family is. No doubt. But even mushrooms, it's a fungus. It is. We eat it, we grow it. We can continuously grow it. There are forms. Right. That's all that they do. Right. That's all
That's
they
true.
do is grow fungus. But they use the bacteria from what's already in the ground.
Right.
They have certain things they can use to kind of speed it up.
Right.
But that's what they're using.
Right.
So these forms have already been here. Just like we look at, let's take for instance COVID, since you mentioned water, you had to take it from somewhere. Guess what you took it from? A source. So that goes back to what I said. We can't deny that there is, whether you want to call it God or whatever, whether he's in the sky or he's in the air that we breathe.
Right.
Because the Bible says he breathed life into the nostrils of man.
So let me
go ahead.
On what you're saying, because I'm glad we're having this conversation, but
it's good conversation.
It is good conversation. It is. It really is. And this is what I want to put out here, and this is just my opinion.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? It is almost a fact, though. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna use it as an opinion because everybody is not gonna think like me.
Right.
Anytime they use the word father, my dad did breathe life into my nostrils. Your dad did. Everybody out here in this world, dad breathed oxygen into your nostrils. This is a fact. We are the carriers to every being on the planet. Women are the host. They just,
we actually have life in us.
We got life in us.
We deposit. This is why the man is so important.
Thank you.
We deposit women do not have life in them
at all.
We put the life in them. They carry the life.
That's it.
They are still important. It's not saying that because we have the life,
right.
that the woman is not important.
We work together.
It's saying I need you and you need me. We were created. And I'm going to keep using that word.
It's true.
We were created to reproduce.
That's right. You're exactly right. You are exactly right. That's not a debate.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting at is, though, is if we start realizing and start really taking, okay, women don't actually offer anything before they're pregnant. There's nothing that you can get. When the only time that they can offer that seed anything is once it's in them.
Right.
That's when that seed helps them for that body to know they're gonna have to start forming milk.
Right.
They gotta start getting these good vitamins, germs, and because they're gonna need them good germs. They're gonna you see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But none of that is needed until that seed actually goes. So it won't be no reason to develop none of it.
Right. And even because we're on this topic, I had to look at the clock.
No doubt, yeah.
But we're on this topic, and I'm gonna be short about it. That's how important the gender roles really are. Because we still need each other.
That's right. That's true.
No person is less important. I can have a seed.
Right.
I can have life, but I can't get anything out of it until I give it to.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
So same thing. Women, you have to open yourself and offer yourself in that particular way. I mean, we know how sex works.
Right.
But still, to receive
that
seed from the man.
Right.
It is very important because we have the roles as mothers and fathers. Not dads and moms, mothers and fathers.
Right.
It is I'm gonna use the word divine. It is a divine, detailed assignment.
It is. It is.
And when we don't play our role or execute our role, that seed suffers.
I know y'all listening.
That seed suffers. Now, I'm not saying folk have to be married. I'm not saying, now my Bible tells them different, but I want you to hear me.
No,
you're not saying you have to be married to produce life. You don't.
Right.
That's an obvious fact.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying that we can't see.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I think it is important for us as a people. We have to get to a place because the children are not going to understand that.
Not at all.
Because they're children.
That's right.
But if we take accountability and choose to come together and change, because they say it takes a village to raise a child.
It's true. It's true.
People out here doing stuff, have said whatever, especially our young babies. I'm talking about the older people that know better. Yeah. I'm talking about these babies, these children, these preteens and these teens.
Right.
Put the pedal to the metal, let's roll. Keep an O in that draw in the console. When I hit the highway, I got my own
if we're just like, I had someone tell me one time, and I had to pray. I had to pray. She had me on my knees. I had to pray. Asked her about a particular situation concerning her daughter. And granted, her daughter was not pregnant. But I was just like, you buy condoms? You're buying birth control? It sounds like aiding and abetting.
It is.
And she looked at me and she wanted to be argumentative. I said, I'm not trying to argue with you. I didn't even mean to upset you.
No doubt. Yeah. Yeah.
But I think one of the reasons I brought it up, I said, we previously had a conversation about your spiritual journey and your growth, that it means so much to you. I don't know if it's because there's a lot more people on social media that were saying it at the time, because then she started working out, because we see a lot of people working out. So I'm like, I don't know if this is one of the following situations or if you believe what you really be saying. Because one part of manifesting, not only are you saying something and speaking it into existence,
you live in it,
but it's by your actions. That's and right. What you truly believe. That's why I said we have to have conversations, even if we don't believe the exact same thing.
Right.
I'm not going to shun the information you give me, because I want to know about your experience.
No doubt.
There's something I can learn, or at least make me go back and reflect myself how I'm moving.
Oh my God. That's the point of being a man.
That's probably a human being.
And that's true.
That's
true. I can't even deny that.
That's probably human. Because remember, I'm talking to a female about this situation.
You're right.
And I said,
it's hard for them, though.
It's
hard for them.
Oh, it is.
It's real. Even what you just said, your very first.
Can I tell you why it's so hard?
Yeah, go ahead.
Society and the courts are on their side. In every single way. I had a lady that was talking. She wasn't talking to me. She was just sitting beside me, talking to somebody on the phone.
Yeah.
And she was like, "I hate it for him." It was one of her friends or whatever. Something.
Yeah.
She was like, "I hate it for him because he's such a good guy. I see him with his daughter all the time. And this, that, and other stuff." And it's like, in these court systems, it's just bad. And I think she. And by the way she was talking, I think she works for DSS. And she happened to, I guess, be in the courtroom or whatever during the time, like they do child support and something like child support, child custody stuff. Sometimes they do it all together. They don't separate it. You can see everything. Right. So it's true. It's true. So I've been in that courtroom. Yeah, so and I be feeling better. Like, I know him. Yep. Golly, man.
Ooh, yeah.
So I'm like, that man can't even live. That man can't really survive off that.
Yeah. It's not
literally, it's rigged.
It is.
It's rigged. And the sooner our women, because it was rigged for our people, or it was rigged against our people. And to be very clear, we already know that the government does not want the man in the house. They want the man in prison to keep working in prison. Like, you see them movies back in the day.
It's free
labor.
They
making license plates, or they got them out there. Even movie Life. Yeah. They got them out there hitting them rocks and stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's supposed
to free labor.
It's supposed to deter us from wanting to go to prison. But they done glamorified prison so much.
Right. For the man and for the woman. Most women, I started watching. And I was watching on the way here. I ain't gonna lie. I won't watch college driving, but I was listening to it playing on YouTube. The balloon.
The pop. Right? Yeah. 23andMe or something like that. Where they're going with the balloons. I thought about doing 5andMe and see how many people willing to come out and participate.
You should do that. I remember to see that.
I am too, though, to see how many women out here.
I just want to see that. But it helps. If you watch it for the right reason, content, yes, it's entertaining. But I've the last 3 videos today that have come up were of great men, and these women couldn't help but to respect these men. I watched the very last video, the 2 people that were commentating about what was going on, man and woman, and they both said the same thing. They said it's crazy because we just watched the previous clip of the dude before with the same lineup of women and how they were just so like stone faced. This man, he tall, looked real good, real nice, presentable and stuff. He got business, everything. Their demeanor completely was totally different. They weren't so much as to throw themselves. Because that's not what the commentators were saying. Right. They said these women are trying to help him. They're trying to actually show themselves like, hey, look at me. They would watch certain things that he said, and they tried to find a way to connect with him. Yeah. Because he was so desirable. Right. And so many of them got their hearts broken because they did not fit what he was looking for.
Right.
And one of the things the girl said, she said, you know, it is crazy because, you know, and we grow off of truth, of accountability. She's like, I would have been that girl. I was that woman.
Mm-hmm.
I would have done the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
But she's like, the man previously, he had a great job, things like that.
Yeah.
A couple girls popped their balloons as soon as he walked out because of his shoes, and he had skinnier jeans.
Yeah.
And I'm like, the whole time I'm listening to a lot of these females talk, because that was the majority of what came across was
Right.
the one guy and
Yeah, that's right.
I'm listening to them, and I'm like, you're not here for love. It's either find love or pop your balloon.
Right.
If you solely went off that man's first appearance, a lot of times, and even the host messed. I ain't gonna say she messed up. It was perfect.
Right.
She said it. So a lot of them. There's one girl in particular. She would pop the balloon because she would listen to what the man say, and she would disqualify herself. She was what I would label her the disqualifier. She thinks she's not good enough. One of the guys that all of them wanted so bad. This was like the dude, top tier, everything. Yeah. And I'm like, he's one of the dudes you see him come to the room, you want that to be your friend. Like, you respect that dude.
Okay, all right.
He told her, he said, he took time. Plenty of balloon hip hop.
Yeah.
He took time. And he said, so you popped your balloon off of assumptions. This man took time to affirm her. He said, listen, there's other men back there. I'm not the last one. But don't do that when the next man comes. Mm-hmm. We all got issues, quirks. You're on here disqualifying yourself. You're in your own head. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you're ruining an opportunity. You could have got to know me. I could have got to know you. Right. And you could have been the one that I chose. But you disqualified yourself. Yeah. You're a queen. Don't do that. Yeah. Don't do that. We all mess up. Yeah. Ain't none of us perfect. Right. And none of the other women, now some other dudes that wasn't as desirable, they would have quickly probably like, oh, he's talking about her too much or whatever. Yeah. They even comment that. Yeah. Like, oh, none of them popped their balloon because he took time to pop her. Yeah. Even the girl that does the, the narrator, the host or whatever, she's even looking like, right. Can I get a balloon? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I'm gonna let you know something, right? On women that disqualifies themselves in certain atmospheres or genre of type of men, right? Because they know they still dealing with some real. A lot of women can put up a front in the beginning. Yeah. But at a certain amount of time, the real them, really, you know what I mean? So I commend her to know that she know I'll mess that up. Right. But
the takeaway I was going to say was there were two things because it made me ask questions afterwards, like, why didn't any of these other women, these other black women, why didn't any of them try to affirm her? Right. Now, so that's part of our issue with our culture. Yeah, a lot. Because we like, I'm for me, I'm going to get my way. Okay, but in that moment, you don't know that affirming her as another black woman, baby girl, you good enough. Don't do that no more. Right. It took for this man. And sometimes that's what it takes. It's for a man to do.
Our community is ruined, bro.
Yeah, but what I loved is two things. None of the ladies popped their balloon because he took time to affirm this woman. None of them popped their balloon, even though they did previously. But it was the fact that this man took the time. Sometimes we overlook that. He took the time. He was like, wait a minute, something ain't right. Forget this show. We in real life right here. Yeah. He wasn't worried about the camera. He wasn't worried about a whole bunch of lights, comments, and none of that. You could tell genuinely he took the time to pour into her.
For sure.
And I think that's one of the reasons that the other women didn't pop their bubbles. One of the issues that I've had recently with a lot of the negativity stemming around men not being needed or desired, they don't know how to lead.
That's true.
We know the statistics of a majority of our youth period are being raised in a single parent home. And there's a good percentage of them that are not, like us, weren't raised by their mother or their father. It was great auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa, something like that. Right. To address that, and I noticed every segment that was something the women said, he got to be together. He got to know how to lead. you have to know how to submit and how to follow.
Can I before you keep going? I just had a conversation with a young lady not too long ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because she hit me with she's always got to be her masculine because she always run across men that she can't be feminine with, and none of them ever put me in my feminine state.
And it's not our job to.
I said that.
Just like it's not. I was in a counseling session one time, okay. And the counselor, he said, before we go further, understand it is no one's job to make you happy. You are responsible for your happiness.
That's true.
That's where it starts. It's the same as a lot of feminine. Here's the biggest thing, because one of the things that he pointed out as he went through some of the ladies' talks and conversations, right. And he was very positive, but he said to a couple of them, he said, I think the problem is you want all of this from a man to be together and complete because you think that you deserve it. Mm. But you've already told me you have multiple children. You've already told me you're in your 40s. You've already told me. Kevin Samuels.
Oh man, I
love
him, man.
Listen, the reason I love this man is because there were more viral videos of him talking to women, and I believe delivery is a thing.
It is,
but I also believe you need that one friend. Mm-hmm. Or that one person to come in your life and tell you that your poop stank.
That's right.
A lot of women do not like him or respect him, and God rest his soul. Right. But he said, my job as an image consultant, I'm giving you nothing but facts and true statistics. I can give you what is proven. Yes. It's not my opinion. No. I can give you my opinion. Right. But every time I watched him, right. He only had to say it one time. Every video I saw after that, I watched and paid attention. Mm-hmm. He always said, so statistically. Yeah. He said, let me give you facts. It's true. Let me help you. Right. It might not be as palatable for you. Listen, man. But if you get a hold to this, women, the way you're trying to think of what you think you deserve and what you want, God. Yeah. Or have you lined yourself up to it? I say it like this. I always pray to God for certain blessings. Or I used to pray to God for certain blessings, bless with certain things. I got to the point, I know that we got a whole lot more time, but I'm going to keep it short. I got to the point where I say, God, whatever you send me, I pray that you've put me in a position. Mm-hmm. I pray that some past experiences that I've had to deal with where I cry like, God, why me? Why it had to be me? No, that we all done. I pray that I'm in a position to receive. And if I'm not, I don't want to go through it, but if I need to go through it and it's going to help me and whoever comes in contact with me, I'll go through it. I'm not going to like it. Yeah. But the first thing is, I realize for me, and I realize for what a lot of women do say, if you are, and I told my wife the same thing a while back, before we got married, I said, you got to be submitted to God first. You got to be submitted to something higher than me that keeps you accountable. You got to be submitted to something that keeps you saying that you're going to be this person and you stick to that. I don't want wavering stuff, because if I feel like you about to walk out or leave, I'm going to help you. Go ahead and go out the door. I'm going to be polite about it. No doubt. I'm going to help you, whatever you need to do. Right. But one thing I need is stability. Yes. One thing I need is for you to understand if we're entering into marriage, which for some people in our community is not the goal. And I get it. I'm not shunning anybody that doesn't want to get married or doesn't believe in marriage or whatever. Right. But I want to say for those who do, this message is for you. Right. For those who do, you have to understand when you're taking those vows and commitment, you're saying, I'm denying myself. And I am choosing to hold myself accountable. I am committed to making sure that you live.
And that's vice versa.
Right.
Okay, I was just because we won't say it like that. So there you go.
Right, but in us, that's still even in our culture. That's still instilled for us. We'll die for ours.
That's right. Yeah,
we'll die for ours. Yeah. Especially if we know that you're there. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah. I told my wife, I was like, "Why do you love me?" I said, or she's like, "How do you really know that you love me?" That was the second question. How do you know you love me? I said, "Because I would die for you."
Oh. Yeah.
And she looked at me, and I could tell that it did something inside to her.
No doubt, yeah.
But she was still trying to kind of figure out how to keep going with the questions. And I was just like, Go ahead with your questions, but I know we're gonna circle back to this one. She's like, wait. Let's talk about it. You'll die for me. What if I told you I wouldn't die for you? I said, I'm so wired. This is where I do use the word wired.
No doubt.
I'm so wired that you're mine and I would protect you and our son with my life.
That's our job as men.
That's what I want to do. It's in me to make sure that you're good. So if I don't have it or whatever, I want to know that my woman can step in.
Right.
But also, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna go through some things first before I ever put anything on your shoulders.
That's right. Yeah.
I got a lot on my shoulders, business, all that kind of stuff. But before I put anything on your shoulders, I'm gonna do everything in my breath, even if it kills me, to make sure you're okay, make sure you're good, make sure you're set up. But again, for us as men, what we want in return is just don't leave.
Yeah.
Don't have me go through death.
Yeah.
And marriage is a form of death. If we look at it biblically or we just look at it metaphorically, marriage is a form of death, because when you take that vow to that person, you're telling that person, I will sacrifice myself.
Get rid of
my happiness. I'll sacrifice everything.
Oh my gosh.
To pour into you, even if that makes me empty.
That's right. Yeah.
I will make sure you are good. I'm willing to do that.
Right.
And so, if we don't have the mindset, if we don't have these discussions, if we can't get out of that delusional state of things, we as a people, I believe we are doing.
Right. So I want to say something.
Go ahead.
I watched the video too early this morning, and I had seen it before, but it didn't register to me until I seen it again, right? And it was a guy on there saying that women are gods, that men are we just men. There's nowhere in nature there's a father in nature, right? And when I first watched it, I think I know you're talking. The light skinned dude. It's a light skinned dude. Yeah.
Was it him alone on what he said, or was it him and the other guy? Yeah, I saw the same thing.
But when I watched it this time, I have to kind of see where he's coming from. I'm not saying that women are gods, because my belief is that's all of us. Once they said that God is within, that done it for me. Right. But secondly is to say, there's really no fathers in nature, in the universe, I can see what he's saying. It sounds idiotic.
I think it's symbolic.
Let me tell you something, though.
I agree with some of what he was saying. I think what he left out of that whole equation is there had to be something that produced the earth.
Yeah, that's right. But what I'm getting at is,
because the earth can't create nothing without some
the
type
sun.
of exactly.
Okay. So, but this is what I'm agree with, though, right? Everything you just said. The son don't have one wife. The son doesn't have one wife.
That, but I'm gonna let you. Okay, go ahead.
You never seen a tiger mating with a lion and stick around and play daddy.
Never.
You never seen elephants do it. When you see a baby elephant around a pack, they're usually women. You know?
Yeah.
In every species on the planet,
you
never see one male stick with the coat. They protect the whole.
Right.
They all come together and they protect the village.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But they don't sit in there and be food up with, you don't see that.
Yeah.
So it dawned on me like, no wonder in the animal nature,
and it works.
And it works.
It is effective and it is proven.
So
that's the thing.
I just wanted to just bring that up.
Delusion is I'm in my feelings. I just want to think opposite from something else.
That's right. Yeah.
I'll agree with one thing that this generation says. You're entitled to that, but that does not mean. Here's the thing. You can say that you feel that way. There are still laws, and if we ignore the laws that are proven, the facts of things,
right,
we are delusional.
That's right.
Because the laws and the facts say the reason laws are in place is because something has happened. And there were consequences.
That's right.
We look at law like, the law is the consequence. No, the law is saying, hey, I'm giving you some substance that tells you this is the way things work
Right.
because it's proven.
Mhm.
If you go against that law,
Mhm.
you're going against your nature,
Right.
your true nature
Right.
of what you were created to be, what you do.
Mhm.
If I go kill somebody, there are laws
Yes.
that are there to really protect not only me, so I don't have to go to
Right.
jail or death row or anything else,
Right.
but it's to protect that person too from me
Right.
killing
Yeah,
them.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
That's the reason for the laws. We think the laws are here for bad things, they're here for good things, to protect us.
Right.
And if we govern,
Mm-hmm.
we hear that phrase all the time,
Mhm.
govern ourselves accordingly.
Right. Right. So before we go any further in anything, I want you to give us the third one now.
The third one is, and I'm still in that particular state, and I
Okay.
think that might be the state for the rest of my life.
Okay.
Learning those different areas of forgiveness, taking time. The biggest thing is taking time to understand.
Mhm.
I took time to really sit and I talked with God and talk with myself as well. Because I believe you need to do both.
That's the
Because a lot of
best.
times that's the best way to reflect.
It is.
That's the best way to reflect.
Call me crazy.
There were some times where I was like, God, why you ain't talking to me today?
Huh?
And again, I have a relationship.
Yeah.
But I'm like, God, why you ain't talking to me today? God has enabled me,
Mhm.
not saying that I still have to lean to myself all the time,
Mhm.
but God has enabled me to be an intelligent creature, intelligent human being.
You get to make your own decisions.
I discredit God and his ability by saying, God, I need you to tell me this.
Uh-huh.
He made me self-aware.
Uh-huh.
He made me self-conscious. So
That's
he expects me to use it.
Mhm.
We put God, regardless of how we believe God
Uh-huh.
or that source or the universe or whatever,
Mhm.
we were placed here to be able to grow. If we're not growing, why are we here?
That's right.
So I had to take those life experiences, even the hate and different things like that.
Mhm.
I had to learn the biggest thing is I have to forgive.
Oh.
Because if I hold that
Mhm.
and carry that, and here's the thing, and I heard this the other day, and I've been doing it, but when I heard somebody else say it, I was like, he doing that.
Uh-huh.
It was a moment where I was
Okay.
proud of myself,
Okay.
of growth.
Right.
I have to continuously forgive for the same thing.
Mhm.
Because when I brought that up to you, I'm like, well, yeah, he stole from my father, this man's way. And I felt some type of way. Even in that moment, inside, I was like, I still forgive him again.
No doubt. Yeah,
I
yeah. Because you
I
felt
got
that feeling again. You
right.
got to. That's right.
And you made the perfect point. If we stay in that thought process, it's 9 to the 10 not going to turn out good. We cannot have that expectation that something good's going to come
That's right.
from a negative mindset.
That's right.
We cannot.
That's right.
And I think that's the answer to your original question about our cultures.
Uh-huh.
We have to turn from the current mindsets that we have. Look at all the information that is before us because it's accessible.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
It's accessible. We can see it.
We can.
It's just we get distracted by everything else.
Right.
We don't take time to slow down and look at life and how to make it better.
Right.
And I know I'm on your podcast, but I implore anyone, regardless whether you believe in the God of the Bible or not, I tell people one thing about the Bible as a book. As a book, there's nothing that we currently today can go through that someone has not gone through.
Yeah, that's true.
Because all the Bible is testimonies of somebody getting through something.
You just gave one.
Yeah,
a testimony.
Yeah,
I have a testimony.
Here's the thing. I tell people don't stop at the Bible.
Right.
But
life is testimony.
A lot of times we can find it quicker. Yeah. But we gotta add everything.
No
so we
doubt.
just find
Yeah,
quicker.
no
You know
doubt.
what I'm saying? Like it's a cheat sheet to life. It really is.
Yeah.
It's a cheat sheet to life. If you don't have to believe in Jesus Christ and that kind of stuff like that.
No doubt.
But use that source because it's a source of wisdom and information. And if you go by a lot of those different laws, which are still some of our laws today in Congress, you know what I'm saying? Like, and govern yourself to those. Try that.
Right. Right.
Even if you don't believe in Jesus being born, dying, all that.
No doubt.
Cool.
Yeah.
There's plenty of other people in the Bible that went through some stuff, or even
Gangsters
God.
too.
Even God. Yeah. Man, but I tell you, I'm a mix between David and Peter.
Yeah.
Because with David, I don't mind telling you about God.
Yeah.
I was the one in the family out of the 6 of us, me and my brothers and sisters. We all did sports of some sort or whatever, except for TT. But she was just really smart. She was just known as a real smart one. And growing up, you know, our family is legendary for sports, especially football and track.
Right.
I played football.
Right.
I sure wasn't running no track, but I played football.
Right.
And I remember a conversation. And I tell people this is really my testimony. I remember the family was together, all my brothers and sisters. my mother had just been out, I don't know for how long. And we all down at my grandmother's house. That's the hub for everybody to ever go to grandma's house. And I remember sitting across from her, still being little, one to have this relationship with her. I was in middle school. Right. Just started playing football, and I was starting over 8th graders. Okay. And because I was short and fat, people didn't think I could move fast. Then we got out of Birch. No doubt. Yeah. So I'll be running with the running backs. You feel me? Right. So I would always be looked at as the slow guy, especially for teams that ain't never played or whatever. And I thought I was doing really great accomplishments and stuff. I picked up fumbles, ran back touchdowns, all kinds of stuff, you know. And I'm like, I ain't never even played tackle football before. I played flag years back. And I'm like, I'm doing these great things, and I got my brother Darian who's in high school, and he's the guy. Right. He had broken everybody record and set records. You know what I mean? And stuff. You know, I wasn't really necessarily trying to compare myself to him. I just, in my mind, I was like, I don't want to be the upset in the family. And through a lot of my life, that was the thing. I had to learn self-worth. Okay. And stop comparing myself to the rest of the family. Right. I remember sitting across the table from my biological mother. Okay. I've cried to just want to have a relationship with her. Because that's what we want. We want a relationship with our parents. No doubt. And she was giving praise to, my brother Darian. Shout out to Darian. There's credit and all the rest of them. But she was giving praise to him. And my oldest sister, I remember, I'm just playing through my mind. She looked at me and she said, what about Devontae? Right. He's starting. She cut her off. She said, he ain't shit. I don't remember leaving the table, getting out the chair. I don't know how I ended up in the next round. You know that was transformation. It was. But go. I'm gonna let you finish telling your story. I held it for so long. Yeah, and listen, I think my purpose of even being on your podcast today is forgiveness and growth. Choosing to grow, choosing to look at things a different way. I carried that for a long time. I resented her for that for a long time. But when I finally was able to forgive her, I realized I forgave her for me. For you, yeah. Bro, I'm a grown man. And I'm gonna say in recent had to do that. That's all my mom used to say to me. I believed it. That's how much I heard it. It wasn't just no one. That's what I heard. That was my growing up. It was easy for me to remember when I started. I said I was really hood. I was really streets. It's because I believed what this woman said about me. That was my first teaching. So I know what that made you. That's why I said it was a transformation. Yeah, you know what I mean. But before we go on. And we ain't got a lot of time. But I want you to talk about. I want you to tell them your business, what it is that you do. Yeah. And if somebody if it's a contact information, you want people to be able to contact you in case they want to invite you to do what you do. Yeah. And your band. So here you go. So I just recently acquired a building that's not too far from yours. Actually, okay. It's about down the road. All right. And so what we do is our biggest thing is promoting the music community and the creative period. Okay. So even like podcast things like that, where people can have a space where they can come. It's called the creative space. Come and create. Whether you have a band and you need a rehearsal space, we have full PA stuff there, all of that, whatever you need. That's one business. Also, I myself, most people know me as Devon. That is my stage name. Okay. That's my CEO business name. All right. And my brand. Oh, that's right. I believe in one of the things that I utilize that building for as well, or I'm utilizing the building for, is artist development. So if you're a singer, if you have a band and you want to get out to play live music, I teach you what's required. I don't stop at the bare minimum. I inform you the bare minimum. But I tell you, here's how you get the better gigs. Here's how you do like me. I go on tour. Okay. Right now I'm on tour playing for the Sugar Ray Moore Band, which I'm about to head to the show. No doubt. But so I help people create what it is and help them with their voice.
Okay.
Whether it's through music, through singing,
Right.
through artistry.
Mm-hmm.
I also am a huge connector in the surrounding counties.
Okay.
And even up in the triads. So I can get people connected with other people.
That's good.
I'm what I want to see in the community. Someone that even if I ain't got it, I know I was placed here to be the doorkeeper. That's what my pastor calls me. Is the doorkeeper. My job is not to let everybody through the door, but there are certain doors some people just need help walking through. And part of my job is to get them ready to walk through the door.
Right.
So that's a lot of what I do, and of course I still play, here, time here and there, for filling gigs, things and stuff of that nature.
So how can they get in touch with you in case they want to hire you for?
So I've got you can hit me up on my personal page, Devon Burch. You can hit me up on my new that I just created like a week ago. My new music page, Devon Burch. Okay. On Facebook. You can hit me up on the Creative Space. That's the name of the company in the building that I was mentioning. And hit me up. I also have Black Tie Entertainment, and of course, most of you probably know me from Black Tie Vet Band, which is my company's band. Okay. So any of those outlets, all are through Facebook. I don't utilize a lot of Instagram, right? Except just to kind of get on there once in a while and see what's going on when I'm bored. Right. Like most people. But you can reach me on there. I think it's Devon Burch 21 on Instagram. So any of those outlets. We have a website coming up. We're still building that and the content for it. And best way is through Facebook. Best way is through Facebook.
Well, there you go. Sites. There you go. I hope that you all enjoyed the guest that we brought on. I think he did a hell of a job, But like I always do, I give a little word of advice, and today's advice will be exactly what it was we was talking about. We, and I mean everybody, must learn how to forgive and forget. Let me change that. You ain't got to forget, but at least forgive for you. Right. Everything shouldn't always have to go to the grave with you. Let it go, get it off, and I can almost guarantee that your life can change from it. Love thy neighbor is something that we need to be sticking to, and know that all of this, the next generation of kids, those are our kids. Yes. It's our job to set the next example and not let nobody else, no media, no rappers, nobody else dictate what we are as people. We are greatness. Let's stick together. Let's do business.